All right, turning now to a new legal battle that could put Michael Jackson's legacy on trial once again. A California judge has set a new trial date for the civil lawsuit filed by Wade Robeson and James Safechuck, two men who allege that Jackson sexually abused them as children. Now, Robeson claims the abuse began when he was 7 years old back in 1990 and continued for 7 years. Safechuck claims that Jackson began abusing him in Paris back in 1988 when he was just 10 years old and continued for 4 years until 1992. Now, their trial is going to begin on February 14th, 2028, after apparently these discovery issues delayed the case. To be clear, the men are not suing Michael Jackson himself, who died in 2009. They're suing two of his companies, MJJ Productions and MJJ Ventures, claiming that employees of those companies helped enable and conceal this alleged abuse. Jackson, of course, repeatedly denied ever abusing a child. In 2005, he was acquitted of all charges in the Gavin Arvizo molestation case. And there is a twist that makes this current civil case extraordinary. It is that Wade Robeson, one of the men now suing Jackson's companies, testified at Jackson's 2005 criminal trial when he was 22 years old, and that he stayed at Jackson's Neverland Ranch more than 20 times between the ages of 7 and 14, sleeping in Jackson's bedroom during most of those visits, but testified he'd never been abused. James Safechuck didn't testify at that trial, but the Jackson estate points out that he, too, also told authorities he had not been abused. Both men later reversed their positions. They're pursuing this civil case. I want to talk about it. Joining me now exclusively is Brian Oxman, who served on Michael Jackson's defense team, represented the Jackson family for decades, says he personally worked with Wade Robeson before the 2005 trial when Robeson was preparing to testify for the defense. Brian, thanks so much for coming back on the show. Appreciate it. So let me start with Robeson, right? So he sat in a courtroom, 2005, said Jackson never abused him. Today he's alleging the opposite. As somebody who worked with him, what did you see back then that makes you convinced his testimony was truthful then?
I was the one who got Wade Robeson to come to court to testify in favor of Michael Jackson. He was in Australia at the time doing a show, and I called him, and I talked to him. I said, Wade, Michael needs your help. You know that nothing ever happened. All these accusations are baloney. He says, I know, Brian. I've said it 50 times. I've said it 100 times. I've told everybody, use my statements that I've already made. My managers, he said, don't want me to get involved. Things don't look good for Michael. That's what he told me. Things don't look good. But Wade, they're saying he did it to you. He never did it to me, Brian, is what he said to me. Never. He never harmed me. He never touched me. So when I hear these accusations 20 some odd years later, what was he flim-flamming me? Was he zooming me? What was he doing telling me that it never happened?
Well, let me play devil's advocate. The supporters would say, or supporters of Robeson, or those who take a different view, would say delayed disclosure, right? You can have survivors of childhood sexual abuse. They don't come forward for a number of reasons. Maybe they don't even realize what happened to them. Maybe they don't appreciate what happened to them. If the person who allegedly abused them is also no longer here, they may feel differently about coming forward. And I guess the other argument, both for him and Safechuck, could also be if they're pursuing this much, going to trial, 2028, after all these years, maybe they really are telling the truth now, no?
How about money? Money is the big motivator here. And I think that you cannot get away from that. The minute they filed the lawsuit, they had the GoFundMe applications on file. They raised a lot of money that way. And here's my problem. In the usual case where a woman, she's been abused, it's a long time. She says, oh, you know, I was having a rape syndrome and I couldn't face this. These guys were asked 50, 100 different times, did Michael Jackson ever molest you? And they said no. It's not that they suppressed the memory. It's not that they couldn't bring themselves to talk about it. It's that they denied it. And then the coup de grace. I got Wade after talking to him 6 times. I said, please come to the court. Tell them the truth. He said, Brian, you're a very persistent man. And I said, no, Wade, I just want the truth, and I am persistent. He came to court and under penalty of perjury said that Michael Jackson never touched him, never abused him, never molested him. So the question now becomes, okay, Wade, when were you lying? Were you lying then under penalty of perjury, criminal charge, or are you lying now?
So why even bring it up now, right? So if they were like, you know what, let's say, for example, they did lie, right? Let's say he did lie and maybe Safechuck wasn't telling the truth to authorities. Why come out now and say, yeah, we didn't tell the truth? Why now bring this into a court of law where they are going to have to testify again, and the evidence is going to be presented against them? Why do this when they know what the risk is?
Money.
But yeah, I know.
No
but going after the companies, does that make it different at all?
Yes. The companies have liability only if the employees somehow did this terrible act and the managers affirmed, ratified, and agreed to it. Bob Jones was the president of MJJ Productions and MJJ Ventures. The nicest, most kind, gentle man. If he ever thought that Michael Jackson was abusing something, man, I'm out of here. He would have headed for the hills. He wouldn't have had any part of it. Now, Bob Jones died a couple years ago, so he's not even here to say, hey, I had nothing to do with this. No one ever brought it to my attention. But I talked to Bob Jones, and he said, all these allegations, Brian, they're nonsense. To come after the corporation?
But we have about 40 seconds. Do you think there's a liability for the companies? Do you think they're in jeopardy? Do you think they're vulnerable at all?
I don't think they are, Jesse. I don't think that to establish corporate liability for child molestation, you've got to have knowing participation by the corporate officer, and that would have been Bob Jones, who was my friend. He never would have tolerated any such thing. If he had known about it, no way and no how would he have ever participated. This accusation is bogus.
Give you 30 seconds. You think this goes to trial, or you think this settles beforehand?
The whole MO has to get the estate to settle, and they now have a reputation of settling these lawsuits. And that's a bad reputation to have, because accusations like this come forward all the time. My prediction is there will be a settlement, and I'm not going to like it at all.
Brian Oxman, thanks for coming back on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.